Oh. Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Pure Mage. As you can see, he is, well, maybe you can't see. We got this dramatic dusty shot going on here. We're in Solstheim, middle of an ash storm, and what we're doing here is three things, actually. We're looking for Scholar's Insight, the Black Book, for the 2 skill points per skill book. Let's see, we're also looking for Talvis, who has some ash spells that he's the only merchant in the game where you can get these spells, so we're at least unlocking him, even if we aren't going to use the spells this episode. And then we're also going to start that Unearthed quest line with the Dunmerite. I forget his name, but we need to get Azadal's stuff because I want to get that overpowered damage over time fire spell, you know? You know the one I'm talking about. Let's see, who's in the chat? We got Magus, Necromancer Wen. This guy can do the Necromancer thing, but that is a subclass. That's not a general mage. That is a big sub. I have been playing my Necromancer in Diablo 4 though. Rallis, that's the guy's name. Thank you very much. Let's see. Necromancer wants a buddy. Does get tiresome only having minions around at all times. Yes. Jeez, you know what? Getting ready to run an ad already. Let's switch this to normal, or not normal, manual. Because I remember the ads, even on conservative settings, which should only be like once every hour or so, they've been playing like every 10 or 15 minutes. It's ridiculous. Let me figure this thing out. Monetization is on. Choose how mid-rolls appear. I want to insert mid-roll ads manually. There we go. One does not simply do a necromancer. One is a necromancer. Well, doing a necromancer is different from being a necromancer, I will say. Last week, you hammered with them. Yeah, no, it was. I wasn't really paying too much attention to the stuff that was happening. But I do get a small little tiny notification whenever an ad is about to pop up and when it does pop up, so yeah, it was happening much more frequently, and you weren't the only one complaining about it. There have been others in previous weeks, but I think it was worse last week than it has been. Talking about Fire Wave spell, Azadal's signature spell, yeah, it's the damage over time one that stacks, and I don't remember, it was something generic, like, it wasn't Inferno, it wasn't, Combust, it was, something like that. I don't remember what it was. I'm sure Magus knows off the top of his head with his 17 million thousand gajillion hours in this game. Okay, so, as you can see, we are wearing different equipment here, and I have had an equipment refresh, and I am much more powerful now. But I want to do this dungeon dive first. You can see what's going on, and then I will walk you through all the changes that I've made. Long story short, I was struggling with power in the last stream. This stream, I am not struggling with power. I can almost tell you for sure that we're going to be blowing through this thing, no problem. With the mage, it's even more difficult to focus your power and not spread your power too thin, because with the spells in this game, it's a lot more, there's a greater gamut of things to try, things to do, and things to focus on. As with the warrior, you know, you have a few different types of weapons that you just got to make sure those are all strong and everything, but with the mage, there's all kinds of different things, all kinds of different effects, and it becomes almost untenable if you're trying to do it all right all the time. Let's see, we have Thunderbolt. We'll keep with Panic. We do have Master of the Mind, but I want to switch to Fire because I don't remember the priest's name in this, but he's very resistant to electric damage, so I'm going to switch that over to Fire for this one. We'll go with Flame Darts. There we go. Alright, let's head in. I'll talk you through everything that's going on with this guy once we're on the other side. I thought it was because I don't pay for YouTube. Well, yeah, there are anybody who's got YouTube Premium will have not seen the ads because you see no ads if you pay for YouTube Premium. But and that's why many people in the chat weren't seeing them, because there are plenty of people who do pay for it.
Precious, last time you explored the mine, you almost fell to your death.
But yeah, no, it wasn't just you. It was
widow.
egregious, and you know, even just 5 minutes into the stream, they were already gonna pop up a new one. That's off to a bad start.
That was almost 2 centuries ago. There may be nothing left to find.
Just let me go, woman.
Precious, you're an obstinate old fool, and you're going to get yourself killed.
All right, Cretius.
Who in the blazes are you? Can't you see I'm busy?
Busy doing what?
Why should I tell you? I don't even know who you are.
Well, perhaps I could help.
Maybe. It's been difficult trusting people lately.
Still clearing the lungs from being sick the week before.
Mark my words. These mines hold a secret that could put...
Still not a dry cough, though, which, you know, leads to sore throats and losing your voice for a couple weeks. But, yeah. Getting sick sucks. Don't recommend. What sort of secret would be hidden here?
A secret the East Empire Company swept under the rug 2 centuries ago. It killed my great-grandfather and left Raven Rock with a worthless and tainted mine.
Who was your great-grandfather?
Gratian Kyrelius.
Everybody knows who the East Empire Company is.
His entire life exploring ancient ruins across Tamriel. And he died. And these very mines...
That's like somebody saying they don't know who Amazon is these days.
The East Empire
It's not called
Company
Flame Wave, and it's not really a wave either. It's
claiming that
a
he was
single
lost in the
fire and forget spell that has very low upfront cost, but it does have a very long active time.
My wife and I were cleaning out our home, and we came across some of my great-grandfather's things locked in an old chest. I found an unsent...
And because of how you can stack it
representing East
infinitely
Empire
and its long active time, it becomes the most powerful destruction spell in the game.
It describes a discovery that was made in the mine by some of the diggers. They wanted Gratian to take a closer look. The East Empire Company must have felt it was of great value as they locked that section of the
No,
mine.
it's not a stream either. It's a single fire. Ignite, that's the one. Ignite is the one.
It is. Well, I assume it is. I haven't been able to find the entrance.
Oh, well, this does sound suspicious.
Finally, someone who believes me. I'm telling you, there's something.
And this gives Calendil a chance to delve into the depths of this ancient historied place. A lot of history on Solstheim. Lots of potential for powerful things and concepts being hidden deep under the surface. So
Look,
be taking every opportunity we can to explore the undergrounds of this place.
Time's my enemy. It's caught up with me before I could find the answers that I'm looking for.
Last Mage used it in the game, instantly becomes easy on Legendary, yeah. Anything that powerful, as long as you can keep your distance, you know.
And what the East Empire Company's keeping from all of us.
You'll just melt life bars easily.
Gratian kept a journal of notes about his discoveries.
Dual cast that and everything just melts away, yep.
I'm hoping it will help. Here's everything I have.
I got a lot of other things going on that strengthen my destruction spells, so I don't even think I'll need to dual cast it. If I did, that would make it even more powerful, but this concept I'm going with this character doesn't use dual casting for his 50 level stuff because he's all about breadth first instead of depth first. And we'll be exploring mage subclasses later. But yeah, that's definitely, that would make a pyromancer, a focused pyromancer, easily the most powerful non-sneak thing in the game. Are you sure Gratian's death wasn't an accident?
Be careful down there. The mine can be treacherous.
Be careful down there, that's what she said. Take the stuff I can sell. We're still very much in need of money. Azadal's mask will boost it, as will wearing it as a belt. Yes, indeed. And we are going to be doing that with the Dragon Priest mask. Don't remember the dude's name. But yeah, the Dragon Priest at the end of this dungeon run, he Oh shit, I need to get my shit ready here. Alright, why don't you guys have some ebony flesh to go along with your already badass armor there? Gonna go ahead and take the ingredients while I'm down here instead of just running through this time, because it might be a while before I get back up here and I don't want all the corpses to be cleaned up. I'll let them play with the spider. I'll take this one. Yeah. Even with the flame darts, which I believe is an adept level spell, it's a concentration spell. That was like not even a full second holding it on there. Like probably not even a half a second. How'd you guys do down here? Oh, not bad. Same with the fire perks. You don't even need those though. Yeah, no, it's really not that single shot damage that makes it powerful. It's the stacking. And you know, the more you can buff that up per shot, the faster the enemies are going to go down. But yeah, it's the stacking on that is the killer. Oh, I got to be careful not to blow my shit up down here because there are fumes. Let's see if I can clear that. There we go. James, what's up, buddy? Hey, I remember a few weeks ago I told you the United States would start making their medal counts back up. Doing pretty good now. Been watching all kinds of crazy stuff on the Olympics. Just like stuff you didn't even know was a sport. My wife and I were watching breakdancing last night, and that was kind of fascinating. Oh, good stuff in there. Ultimate healing potion? Don't mind if I do. Okay, here's where it gets good. Let's see. Refresh that ebony flesh on those dudes. Alright. Okay, so the reason I'm using Fear as my illusion spell, it's crowd control. It can be used defensively, and it's an illusion effect that happens instantly. So with... Well, calm happens pretty quickly too. But with like frenzy, it can take them a few seconds. Wow, such chaos. Ah, shit. Just talking about how much stronger I was. I was doing dry runs of this earlier and I was just blasting through it like it was nothing. That is true, Ross with a... That's the one. A little too chaotic, yeah. I need to keep my distance. I need to let my... Where am I here? Ah, crap. Definitely need to do a quick save after all this damn dialogue. Hey, Grease, stop talking to your damn wife.
Can't you see I'm busy?
Aster, welcome, buddy.
Why should I tell you? I don't even know who you are.
Ah, thanks for the link.
But mark my words. A secret, it killed my great-grandfather, Grecian Kyrelian, the East Empire Company. I found an unsent letter. The East Empire Company.
Almost there.
It is.
Yeah, as always, archers are going to be the bane of a mage's existence because, you know, they can shoot from the shadows, they can shoot from afar, they do physical damage, not magical damage, so your wards aren't going to stop them. And they hit you where it hurts, which is, you know, physically, with your armor rating. There are ways to boost buff that up.
Finally.
But it's never
I'm
gonna
telling
be
you,
like an armor cap
something big
thing.
down there. Look.
Best you can hope for is dragon
I'm my
skin,
enemy.
or dragon hide, but
I
that
do.
spell doesn't trigger some of the perks that make the flesh spells most powerful in Ordinator.
So I can finally regain the respect that I've lost.
Take a pair of gloves and a headband here too for crafting. We still have some juice with crafting that we can unlock. So I need hand slots and head slots for that. Okay, quick save. Okay. All right, so I have this distorted shape here. This is what I'm talking about. I'm completely invulnerable for a full 10 seconds here. I need to leverage that. I have nothing but ebony flesh hooked up to Okado's recital. And that is because other spell effects, if they trigger, they will cancel out that distorted shape effect. That is a perk in the alteration tree. And I have made the tactical decision not to add anything else to Okado's recital, even though it'll slow leveling and a lot of other skills. Because that distorted shape is very, very strong. It allows me to not take damage while I let my conjured minions take the front lines for me, because it does take a few seconds, like I was saying with the illusion spells. If you're casting those up front, you're not casting them from sneak, you're already casting those on a hostile individual who's already trying to kill you. Fear acts pretty much instantly. Frenzy takes a few seconds for them to retarget somebody else. Calm works pretty well, but that's a little bit, that takes the controls out of your hand a little bit. There is a time and place for it. It's extremely powerful, but it also, you know, you're not really playing the game at that point. It's the toggle switch, the on-off switch for the game. You're saying, I don't want to play this game right now. Let's stop and start over. I wonder if I get the same good shit from this that I got last time with the ultimate healing potion. Some gems. I do have a new spell I can use on this too. Akasha's Lock Splitter. Here we go. From expert to apprentice. There we go. That ought to help. And already a much bigger sweet spot. Completely resets the sweet spot though. That's interesting. Oh yeah, we got all the good stuff. Including a flawless gem there too, which I can use for enchanting. Very cool, very cool. Dremora against a skeever seems a bit extreme. Yeah, I know. It's that's a mismatch. Save, just did. Right before I came through that gate. We're good. The chat's probably a little bit behind here. That's cool. Oh, just melted the white. Come on, minions. You got that one taken care of. The Dremora causing staggers. Like to see that. Okay, there's another archer over there. You guys all good? Go get them. Gonna go ahead and loot while we go, because we're not coming back here anytime soon. And they might have some good stuff. Alright. Watch me get killed by that swinging gate trap now. Behold my power, he says. Well done, minions. Russell Strauger goes bye-bye. Go sow chaos, minions. Alright, doing a quick save. We're about to enter an arena here. Refresh the destruction spell or potion. Alright, see you later. Track them down, hounds. Shield is pretty valuable, we'll take that. Bone meal, always useful. Oh, I just farted, sorry. It's not weakness you smell, it's feekness. Man, I'm a genius. I'm a comic genius, you guys. I'm so lucky you get to spend 3 hours with me. Haven't watched any of the Olympics, to be honest. Been working on our kitchen remodel. We're waiting for countertops, so I've been doing what I can, putting up trim, baseboards, and getting it painted nice. It's gonna look good, though, I bet. Yeah, those countertops can take a little while. They're kind of a process to get cut to the right specs. Oh, don't forget about the boss chest. Ooh, we can definitely use our block cracking spell on this. From master to adept. Hell yeah. Oh, GB already beat their target? Nice. With their spell counts. Generation, got some good enchanted stuff here that will no doubt sell well. I think spectral, yeah, I think I have all these already. Staff of Mute is interesting.
We've stopped. What is it? Of course.
I got all kinds of shit in his inventory too that I wasn't aware of. Oops, nope, I need that dwarven knife. Oh dang, all kinds of stuff in here. One thing I didn't do between the last stream and this one was clear out Belrin's inventory. That would leave me with a lot more money. For crafting and spell buying and stuff. Yeah, with the warrior, I spent a lot of like the stretch goals on what you spend your money on have more to do with training. With the mage, it has more to do with buying all these spells, especially if you're running a lot of different spell packs, like I am, modded spell packs. It adds a ton of spells to the game, and you know, a lot of them are going to be adept, expert, and master level spells that get very expensive. So that's what I've found that I'm spending most of my money on now is the damn just buying spells. What happens if you dual cast the level lock? Well, I don't have dual cast on anything, and that's kind of a theme that I'm going with this build. Since he is like a general mage, I want him to be ready for anything, and that puts him into more of a breadth first over depth first. So I kind of like the idea of him having a different spell in each hand, ready for a wider variety of circumstances instead of both spells in one hand for one specific purpose. So I have not been spending, or I haven't spent any perk points, excuse me, on the dual casting perks. But I don't know. That would be an interesting experiment once I do have those. But that's more of a plus beyond level 50 idea. Dual casting anything. Okay, now we have, all right. Ward isn't going to help us much on this one. It will, but I need to just dive in and dive back out. I think that these are shock. We'll go with the resist shock. Oh yeah, just stand there. Stand there in the tickle. This one we can use a ward on. Oh geez, man. Oh, that is a greater ward. How strong is this thing? It was a petty soul gem. Wow. Why was that so deadly? That is nuts. Okay, let's refresh our minions here while we have a chance to do so. Get in there, minions. Still shouting right at me. Even though you got angry demons charging you. Okay, there is a powerful archer right behind me up on the ledge, so I'm trying to use the terrain to stay out of their way, out of their line of sight. Yep, get up there, Dremora. Belrand, help me out here, buddy.
I love a challenge.
Oh, the fear spell hit the Dremora as well. Gotcha now. There we go. Very nice, very nice. Water walking potions we will take.
Too bad we can't read these carvings. Who knows what...
Apprentice level, yes please. Those are some of the worst in the game. Soul gem pedestals can usually kill you quickly if not careful. Yeah, and I've noticed that it's like it doesn't really matter the the strength of the soul gem either. It's just gonna blast you. For reference, that greater ward has no problem even keeping up with an elder dragon's like fire and frost attack. It's nutty. I don't know why they gotta be so strong. Some more good enchantment and money fodder there. I like the fact that you went with the Avalok's outfit. Yeah. So anybody not familiar with Avalok, he is an elven mage, a very powerful one from The Witcher 3, I believe. I have not beaten that entire game, but I put about 90 hours into it before I moved on to other things. But Avalok was a pretty cool character. Yep, just did my quick save here before I enter in. We're good. I got a hair trigger on the quick save now. Before I enter any new area. So far it's looking good. Very happy with the how the walls and trim turned out. Very nice. Can't wait till it's usable, right? Yeah, Lock Splitter reduces, Akash's Lock Splitter reduces lockpicking by 50 points or 2 levels, 2 difficulty levels. For gem pedestals, I wonder if it's something in the coding that uses base game ward stats. Ooh. I don't know if it's a ward thing or if it's just the fact that those pedestals that are so strong. Or you can just knock it over. That works too. Ice Spike, we already have that.
We're bound to find some gold in these ruins. But out of respect, let's leave a few coins for the dead.
Yeah, that's the question, right? With the alteration spells, it's a little funny though. With a dual cast, it's rarely means a magnitude. If you're dual casting an alteration spell, it rarely means a jump in magnitude, and it's usually a jump in effective time. So if I went back to that chest, you would see a green bubble around where the chest was. So there is an effective time of effect on that Lock Splitter's spell. So my guess is that it wouldn't make the magnitude of the spell stronger. It wouldn't, you know, do like it wouldn't increase the magnitude of the reduction in lock difficulty by 3 or 4. It would just double or triple the time that it's active for. Which doesn't really help with that spell because time stops when you're in the lockpicking screen anyway, right? So my first inclination is that it probably wouldn't help at all to dual cast this Lock Splitter spell. If it's even possible, because Anai does explicitly stop certain spells from being dual cast, and even explicitly enforces if you equip a spell that goes into either the left or the right hand sometimes too. He's also featured in the book, and he is, well, quite obsessed with Laura Doran's bloodline. Ah, okay. That's why he's after Ciri so hard. Okay, this is going to take us right into the Blood Skull area here. Now, if I remember correctly, there's another couple corpses around here that I want to make sure I'm looting. Another chest. Don't mind if I do. Death Frost. Oh, I think I have that one already. So one thing with the newer version of Summer... Oh, I'm encumbered. Belrand, help me out, buddy. We got the Dremora over here. They're not going to help us hold anything, though. We'll wait for him to get down here. I can roll around in the meantime. So one thing you can do with the newer version of Summer Mist, since it has all the weakness effects, weakness to X element, is you can take your follower and equip him out with like weakness to fire stuff on his bow and his different melee weapons. And every time that he attacks with that, he's going to apply weakness to fire to your enemies. And then now if you're wielding a fire spell, you're doing more damage. And that goes for every element.
What is it?
Sadly, at least I haven't seen one yet. There is no weakness to magic enchantment, which would be cool, because that would kind of go in line with the Drain Armor enchantment for the warrior, which just increases all your physical damage to that enemy. I would like to see your additional follow-up inventory, please. Need the Bloodskull Blade for what we need to do here. Don't need the Fang anymore. We got the Heart Scales in the last episode, I believe. 207 out of 260. Yeah, I don't have the Fortify Carry Weight enchantment yet either. Do I have Haunting Brew Mead? If I do, then I have a way to get it. Yep. So next time on the road when we see the Merry Revelers, we'll be able to get that Carry Weight enchantment. Or if we see an assassin trying to kill us on the road, their bandoliers do have a Carry Weight enchantment on them. Lara was one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful elven mage, and her genes are precious to the NAL. Okay. Blood Skull stuff. And I have, like, no stamina, so this should take forever.
By this here. That's impressive.
Pretty cool, huh? Yep, already out of stamina. Comes back fast. Oh, that's the Windfall enchantment that I have on my boots. Okay, for this next stretch, once we get through here, actually, I'm going to do it now while I'm thinking about it. I'm going to change out. We're still going to do Panic in the left hand, but in the right hand, we're going to switch to Thunderbolt, which is an expert level single target shock spell. And the reason we're switching to Thunderbolt is because Dunmer are resistant to fire, highly resistant to fire, actually. So we have the Reavers coming up. We're going to transition. Well, actually, we're going to transition from this to the Black Book. Oh no, we still got to fight the priest, and the priest is resistant to the damn shock spells. Oh, god damn it. I'm sure I have stamina potions here somewhere, right? There we go.
It's strange to think that some of my own ancestors...
Jump the gun a little bit. Let's switch back to flame darts. There we go. Ooh, that was a long roll. You really covered some distance. Almost didn't make that. We lost my minions. That's Edge of Oblivion kicking in there. We are even weaker now. Physically. Just don't get hit. There we go. Alright, here's where we fight the Dragon Priest of Shock. Okay, let's get our minions up and running here. A little bit of ebony flesh for the two of you. Panic isn't going to do us any good, so we're going to switch to Greater Ward. Here we go.
Got the feeling there's trouble ahead.
Quick save here. Underwater. Still reaching him, that's good. See, the ward is even holding up against this. Oh, it did for a minute. Ah! Get in there, minions. What are you even doing? Held up for a while, though. Where is he? There he is. He's on fire. It's almost done. Zakrisos. Good range on the flame darts.
Another day, another victory.
Here we go. Zakrisos is finito. Zakrisos is finitos. Okay, so this increases shock resistance by 50%, which is a very strong enchantment. But also shock spell damage by 25% increases it. So this will make our shock spells much more powerful. 25% is nothing to sneeze at. That's quite strong, actually, especially at higher levels when that 25% counts for more. Can you stack multiple buffs with the power of the master, or only one buff? You get to stack multiple ones. That's awesome. Wait, get all elemental mask will be useful. Yeah, if you can wear them all at the same time. You can with Warmonger's Armory, which adds the straps to it, so you can wear it as a belt. Yeah, Power of the Master is really strong. I haven't been going too deep into it because I haven't needed to. The Dremora here, obviously, are strong enough. The only time I lost them were when they were just standing in those swinging blade traps. But yeah, we're going to keep this. We're going to add a belt to it, and we'll add it to our favorites menu. Okay, so, let's see. From... Oh, I do need to get that word wall. What am I doing? And there's a chest up there I didn't loot yet either before I move on to the Black Book. Yeah, you only get one cloak. You can't stack different cloaks on top of each other. Same with flesh spells. They don't stack, obviously, on top of each other. Let's see. There are also some ingredients down here that maybe I can use later. Get some Nordic barnacles. Still don't have level 100 in our alchemy skill. And we're not going to be putting any perks into that anyway because it's not part of the class. Alchemy is a rogue / thief stone skill for some reason. Probably just because of the way the distribution worked. They needed to have an even number of each one of them, and needed something over there for rogue. Lever's good. Okay, so from my experience, the lurkers and, well, the seekers not so much. They go down pretty easily to shock spells, but the lurkers, they seem pretty resistant to shock, and I'm not sure if that's an actual thing, but I think I'm going to keep with my flame darts here before we go into the book. And where is Belrand? Are you still over there? Yeah, let's offload on Belrand now before we go into the book.
Going.
And keep a clear inventory, carry as much as possible. Can also heal with Power of the Master. Just use Grand Healing. Yes, indeed. Which is even more powerful when you have the perk that allows healing spells to harm your enemies, because the Grand Healing has a splash effect. So while your minions are all mixed up with in melee combat with your enemies, just start casting Grand Healing and your enemies are going to melt. Yeah, Soul Cloak is still a cloak. Anything that says something cloak is going to cancel out the other cloak that you had before, be it soul cloak, fire cloak, anything. Let's see. It looks like Magus got you covered. Okay, good, good. Let's see. Don't need the Bloodskull Blade anymore. I can't get rid of that until I... Actually not going to be able to use that Chrysos. Anyway, why do I have so much encumbrance here? Maybe it was the Daedric Sword. Animal bones, pelts. Not going to need the torch. Belrand might be able to make use of it. I have quick light. Spell tome and all of my ingredients. Anything that's not Haunting Brew Mead. There's probably a shit ton of potions in here too that I can offload, but I don't want to go through those right now. Okay.
Let me know if there's anything else you need.
So yeah, I'm gonna stick with flames for now until we come back out, and then we start going through the Reavers on the other side. Quick save. When a base game spell is more powerful than anything modders have made in 13 years, yeah, right. It's crazy. A lot of people sleep on it though because of its low upfront damage. Same with the runes. If you're gonna go down the rune subtree, The one that transfers that, or not transfer, transforms that into damage over time spells. People tend not to take that because they see that it does very little damage up front, and they're like, "Oh, this is a nerf." It's not. It does way more damage.
This is Apocrypha, where all knowledge is hoarded.
Ancient Seals, that's the one, yeah. One nice thing about minions over followers is that minions can be spawned inside Apocrypha. How about that?
So, welcome.
Actually, let's do this. Ebony Flesh, I think I have a resist elements spell. Yeah, there we go. Give him some magic resistance to go along with that Ebony Flesh.
You are a fool or a coward.
Still got the ward in one hand, that's good.
Read your book again and escape before Apocrypha saves you forever.
So if it looks like I'm not doing much damage and then I'm doing just a ton of damage, that is from my favorite, Potion of Fortified Destruction. 62% stronger, and that's without any perks in alchemy, and I don't even have a level 100 alchemy yet. This is just from crafting up. I do have enchanting, and I do have enchanting not entirely fleshed out yet, but it is up to a level 100, and I do have some perks in it. But yeah, just wearing a crafting set, no loops at all, just a straight up crafted set. I'm able to get destruction spells increased by 62%, which is crazy. Good stuff. If you're playing a mage that relies on destruction, do not sleep on those fortified destruction potions. Even in vanilla game, those are very, very powerful. Yeah, and that's without any perks in alchemy.
The challenger is near.
Where is he? You can usually sorry, I'm tripping over my words. There he is. I am also running the Vigilant perk. So I get to keep my first ward that I cast in combat up for free. Wow, that has a wide area of attack. Where the hell is the... Here we go. So as long as I'm holding on to my ward, I get to keep that going for free, for no mana cost. As soon as I let go of it and then cast it again, then it starts costing me mana again. Wish Ancient Seals allowed you to summon 3 runes at once. That would be nice. Soul Cairn summons are undead and get the necromancy perks affect them. Okay, so Wrathman greater than Dremora Lord. Ooh, nice. Okay. Well, you don't have Wrathman yet. I haven't been to the Soul Cairn just yet. Haven't taken on Dawnguard. But that is good to know. Thank you, Magus. Ross with the perk before allows casting 3 of them at once would be ridiculous. You also would be able to place 2 of them, which makes no sense at all. Wouldn't be able to cast 2 of them, which makes no sense. Yeah. Okay. While I'm in Solstheim, I also want to get the Black Book that removes allied damage from spells and attacks. In my experience, a lot of the modded spells actually still hurt your followers. So I don't know how useful that's going to be, but I want to get it and try it out nonetheless. Save here. Yeah, no problem. I understand. Magus. Typing on a phone is if I have to do anything on a mobile phone, like if I'm even like ordering dinner or something on a website on my mobile phone, it's ridiculous. This guy does have a ranged magic attack that should be blocked by the... Yeah, he just blocked an attack there. That's good. Man, Apocrypha is great for loot. You're looking for that good stuff, enchantments. You just need something to sell so you can get money for training or, you know, building your Hearthfire home or whatever. Apocrypha is a good place to come. The enemies give you a bunch of good loot. You get a lot of skill books. Scrolls, which you may not use. I hardly ever use scrolls. I should use them more often. Maybe I should do a scroll mage just to get me in the habit of using those damn things. Yeah, all kinds of good stuff. Enchanted items, spell books, skill books. So much good stuff in here. This was kind of a short one. Okay, we're taking Scholar's Insight. Once we get all of our relevant skills up to 100, we might switch this to something else, but during the leveling phase here, Scholar's Insight is absolutely invaluable. That is because training stops at level 90. Once you hit level 90, even the master level trainers won't train you anymore. And there are only 5 skill books for each skill if you don't have mods that add in more. So with Scholar's Insight, each one of those skill books gives you 2 skill points, right? So now you can cap out at level 90 with the training and then just go around, find all your skill books, and that'll give you another 10 levels when it's the hardest to... the progression is the slowest because your skill level is so high. You can get from level 90 to 100 very, very quickly through the use of those skill books when it would take you forever to grind them. Good stuff. Companion's Insight, what does that do? Your attack, shout, and destruction spells do no damage to your followers. Okay, so we can't have Scholar's Insight and Companion's Insight in the same at the same time. I'm gonna take Companion's Insight right now because I do not have a level 90 yet in anything that isn't already level 100. So these are my buffed skill values, right? Alteration is already capped out. And enchanting is already capped out. So I don't need anything. Those are 2 very easy spells to level up without skill training. Illusion's kind of there too because you can just, mash the, just grind on Muffle and get that thing leveled up pretty quickly. But it does slow down when you get to higher levels. So in an illusion, we're at 66. Conjuration, we're at 90 or 70. I'm sorry. Destruction, we're at 73, and restoration, we are at 67. So, not really too close to 90 in any of those. So I'm just gonna take the Companion's Insight instead. Hi guys. Yeah, I don't think it works on modded spells. What if there's a patch for that? But if I go and do something like flames... or even chain lightning. No. It just doesn't work. There must be a mod conflict or something. Does anybody know? Or is it a power that I have to activate? No, companion, it's a passive effect. Your attacks, shouts, and destruction spells do no damage to your followers. Or maybe followers do not include minions. Well, what this would allow, what I was hoping this would allow me to do. Oh, sorry, Magus. Yeah, Companion's Insight. It says that your attacks, your destruction spells, and something else have no effect on your followers, but I don't think that includes minions. Minions don't count. Okay. What I was hoping for is that I could use now chain lightning or fireball or something with splash damage. It did say when in combat. Would that be? Sometimes that is specific, yeah. Your attacks, it doesn't say when in combat on it. Your attacks and shouts, attacks, shouts, destruction spells do no damage to your followers. May only accept one ability from this book at a time. So this will keep Belrand from getting hurt, but this won't keep my minions from getting hurt. And my minions are actually more important than my follower in this case because of Edge of Oblivion, which is the perk in the conjuration tree that makes it possible to have more than one minion. But when I don't have a minion out, I lose a ton of armor and a ton of magic resistance. So those minions are very important. It is just when in combat? It doesn't mention anything about being in combat. Meant to take Scholar's Insight. It's more important. Oh well. I'll just have to come back. Remember to come back and do it when I start taking my skill books. Oh, it did in the power description. Okay, let's see. When in combat. Yeah, you are correct. Not in the description of the black book, but yeah, okay. Well, this will hurt. This will help. Anyway. You know, the more minions, the better. Even if it is a follower. Go boom, boom. Boom. Okay, so now let's switch from fire to lightning. Lightning strike. We'll do thunderbolt. That's stronger than lightning strike. And frenzy. Oops. And I need to lock that in as well. Boom shakalaka. All right. Let's go fight some reavers. Okay, let's let our distorted shape kick in here, and then we'll let our minions take on everybody.
As fair as an evening. Spring.
Is someone there?
Yeah.
Come on.
Get in there, minions. Invincible for a few seconds while everybody... Wow, they took him out. Nice little 1/3 chunk. And an inherent fear effect. Nice. I like it. Really? You're not dead yet? Tough bastard. Oh, swing and a miss on that one. Oh, he blew up. I've never seen that before. Grody. We still in combat here? Let's clear the area before we start looting stuff. I think I missed splash damage on that one. Oh, that hurts. Get in there, minions. Argonian Blade, nice piece. Elven Hawk Bow is expensive. We'll take that. Ooh, there was something else in there too. Bone Mode Helmet. Yeah, why not? I can just foist that off on Belrand if it gets to be too heavy. And once we're done with the reavers on the outside here, I'll walk you through my setup.
Brigand. So the lowest low. They prey on their own countrymen for profit.
Loot all the things. Reaver Lord. 2 amulets of Mara. He needed 2 of them. Was he looking for 2 wives or something? Death's Shroud is a potent enchantment. What does that one do? Oh, is that the one that it automatically kills anybody like under a certain percentage of health? Like 25% or whatever? Does sound quite good. Just have to figure out what I can replace it with. Highlands iron plate armor. Interesting. I'm gonna leave that there until I have the quest for it. Probably don't get much money for it. Oh, Belran's taking a nap over here. Feeling better, buddy? I know that was a long dungeon run, wasn't it? Kind of feel like I need a nap too. Death Brand. I probably don't need any of the Death Brand stuff, but it'll be fun to track down. Another Elven Hawk bow, very nice. Hawk Tua bow.
What can I do for you, friend?
Instantly slays any foe within 40 feet under a certain percentage of health. Okay, yeah, I saw that one too. More valuable, you know, the higher level your enchanting is, and mine's quite high, so that is definitely something to look for. The only thing is the distance on it. 40 feet actually is a lot longer than you would think, so that might be quite valuable for me. I'll have to look into that. See what I can take out in order to put that in. You only get a certain amount of slots for enchantments in this game. And because we're not specializing in anything really, spell school wise or like subtree wise, I really need enchanting to add a lot of the power that we're missing through that. So there's a lot of stuff that I have equipped right now that I do need in order to keep the power level high enough to feel strong.
Anything you need, just holler.
See what's on the Draugr over here. I didn't loot these guys. I looted the ones around the fire, but not the ones in the cart. Just some gold. Okay. All right, we got one more brief jaunt through the marauders outside on these towers out here. Spit on that thing. Magus knows. Okay, let's use distorted shape. We'll hang out here for a second, let the minions go do their thing. Okay, let's get out of harm's way here. Turn that light off. That's doing more harm than good at the moment. Crack some latch over here, huh? What are you doing up here, Belran? That was a funny look. All right, how we doing over here?
That's the end of that.
Wow, the Dremora made some short work out of all these Reavers here. Even with their fire enchantments, it didn't matter. And I didn't even pop Ebony Flesh on them through Power of the Master either. Got any pearls in here? No. Maybe this one. Nah. Okay. So that's that one done. All right, so let's go through. I did make a lot of changes this week to the build, and changes that I'm actually very happy with. He's feeling good now. Let's see, which should we start with? I didn't loot the Marauder. Cloth's Amethyst, definitely want that. Titan stuff, yes please. All right. So, let's see. Let's start with the perks first. I can tell you where I'm going with my plans on what to do with the rest of these here. So Illusion, I think we're done with. We got Illusion all the way up to Fickle Fate and Master of the Mind, which allows illusion effects to work on all enemy types. So until you take this your spells aren't going to work on undead like the Draugr, skeletons, things like that. They're not going to work on Daedra like Atronachs, and they're not going to work on like Dwarven automatons either. So this is like, if you're going to take one perk, well, you can't just take the one perk, but if it's one perk that you want, if you're an illusion mage, it's Master of the Mind, and anything that you got to spend to get to that point is going to be worth it. In this case, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 perks. This is worth 5 perks in my opinion. That makes your spells usable on anybody, and then I also just took an extra perk in Mastery, which makes the spells more powerful, cost less, you know. So there's a whole lot of other stuff in here that is good for like knight type characters, death knight type characters, and like thieves, like agents, you know, hybrid builds. Also useful for mages too, but a lot of this stuff, it kind of wants you to be sneaking in order to do it, or entice barter if you're like a bard or an agent. You can calm somebody and trade with anyone, which is actually very, very useful for skill trainers that don't already have like a vendor mechanism attached to them. You can trade with them to get all that money back that you just spent with them by haggling, you know, items and loot with them. So that's it for Illusion. And if you guys have any suggestions, I think I'm pretty set on what my perks are going to be, but if you have any suggestions for this, let me know. This is just going to be up to level 50. So we have 2 perks. We have another 6 perks I can spend, and I think I have a plan for those already. No, we have another 6 perks, so we have 8 perks that we're going to be able to spend. And I do think I have a plan for all of this already. Okay, so for Conjuration, I have Conjuration Mastery, which makes them cheaper to cast and last longer. Plane Meld, which lets me cast them further away. Atromancy, which makes these non-undead minions last 3 times as long. Pact Magic, so this is one of the several effects that I have that strengthen my destruction spells. It makes destruction spells 10% more powerful for each friendly conjured Daedra within 30 feet. So as long as I have a Daedra somewhat close by, I'm going to get a 10% buff to my destruction magic damage. And then this is the key one here. Edge of Oblivion lets us cast 1 additional minion. But when you don't have a minion active, you're going to lose 250 armor and 50% magic resistance. So you're going to be very, very, very squishy, more so than you already are. So it basically invalidates any kind of flesh spell that you have, any kind of enchantments that you might have for magic resistance. You just don't want to do it, which is why I'm not using splash damage spells like Fireball, Elemental Blast, Chain Lightning, things like that, because I don't want to accidentally kill my own minions. Now, there's obviously a lot of power to be had beyond this, right? If I want to switch to Atronachs, I can go with like Unleash Hell, which gives them more utility and more strength. And And then since I'm using non-undead minions, I could do summon resist, but I can already do this through power of the master, through just, you know, resist magic and ebony flesh. And then obviously you can go all the way up here. This is quite an expensive investment, but once you get to March of Oblivion, if you're putting a lot of attribute investment into Magicka, then being able to cast more minions obviously is very powerful, right? Maelstrom would be amazing. While you charge or concentrate on spell, friendly conjured Daedra within 30 feet gain 30% extra damage. Yeah, so if you want to lean into the sort of puppet master thing and you want your conjurations to be doing the bulk of the damage, you can do this. For me, I just have my minions out more as a meat shield, even though even the Dromora Lords, without this 30% buff, they're doing plenty of damage because they're killing a lot of stuff on their own. But for one perk investment, this is great. Yeah. I already have a plan for these perks, so I probably won't be taking this one just right now. But if you're already here and you have Daedra minions that you are surrounded by, then yeah, this is definitely worth it to take. Great perk. Destruction. Okay, so this is where most of my perks are going to be spent. Now, obviously, the deeper that you go within each one of these elemental subtrees, the more powerful each one is going to be. And that's kind of what Ainai wants you to do, is he, with Ordinator, he wants you to become a specialist, right? He wants you not to be spreading your perks out too much, which is why the increased perk plugins that he has, the add-ons on the Ordinator pages, are all optional, because he wants you not to be taking all these perks. He wants you picking a few and come up with a unique build, nuanced build concept that way. So right off the bat here, I'm going to be doing these first ranks of each one of these elements are great because they just make themselves stronger the more you use them. So with the fire spells, they become more stronger, more powerful, do more damage as your opponent loses health. Merciless Cold, it does the same thing, but for stamina, and then Ionized Path, the same thing, but for Magicka. And for cold and shock spells, cold spells reduce stamina as they do damage, as they do cold damage. So you're going to be doing more damage as you hit them with a spell, and the same with shock, right? So I'm also thinking about War of the Elements here, right? So I think that if I come up here and take let's see, Scarring Burns and then Conflagration, this one ignites the ground underneath targets as you do flame damage. And that is going to enable raw power, which makes all spells, all elemental spells, 10% more power. Oh, I'm sorry, more than that. Which makes all spells 40%. Oh no, this is attack damage. Never mind. Not taking that one. So there goes my plans. But I still want to do Scarring Burns, Frostfall, and Static Field. I don't need to go beyond any of this. So that is going to be 1, 2 times 3, 6 perks right there, which will make our destruction spells more powerful, regardless of what elements we're going to be using. We don't need to go any farther than that. But I do want these spells to be doing more damage because on Legendary difficulty, enemies are very, very tanky. Restoration. I don't need anything else in Restoration here. A lot of this stuff is sort of like Paladin or Cleric flavored, instead of just broad Mage flavored. But I do have Descending Light and Vigilant, which is really good for keeping your ward up, and the ward is our primary defense against dragons and mages. So yeah, Vigilant was very important on that. We could do Edgewalker, which, you know, makes restoration spells more powerful, you know, based on missing health percentages, or Spirit Tutors, which makes restoration spells more powerful overall if you find those Spirit Tutors out on the road. But I find myself not using restoration spells all that much. That could change later, but for right now, I think we're good on restoration. Alteration, we got a ton of shit here, right? And that's because there's a lot of really good stuff here for general mages. Geomancer, if wearing robes and no light or heavy armor, you take 30% less damage from attacks while charging or concentrating on a spell, which is good. If you're charging up a spell and you get hit, you're taking 30% less. 30% damage reduction is really, really good. But that's just attacks. That's physical damage. So if I have a ward up and I get hit by an arrow, still going to take a chunk of damage, but 30% less might be the difference between life or death. Let's see. Alter self-resistances. Of course, you got to do fire and frost for that because dragons. And attributes, of course, I'm giving myself more magicka. Beyond this is nullifier, which keeps enemies within, you know, a certain radius from regenerating magicka and stamina. This is, for me, more kind of like a battle mage or spell sword type thing. It's not worth a perk if I'm going to be out of range of that anyway. And then I took Wild Shrines, which does boost destruction, restoration, and then adds effective time for both conjuration and alteration. And then I took Wellock's Dormant Arcana, and I'm trying to remember what I took for this one. I think it was Conjure Daedra, and then reduce spell cost after that. Or could have been Regenerate Magicka.
See something moving in the shadows.
So when I cast these two minions, you can see how fast I regenerate after that. Super powerful. And that goes hand in hand with Edge of Oblivion. So if I'm casting these minions more readily, in case these guys get killed by a dragon or something like that, I need to be able to cast them very quickly, and I also need to be able to keep my magicka pools up after I cast them because I need to be able to, you know, cast a ward, cast a healing spell, cast ebony flesh to enter distorted shape again, or you know, just do damage with a destruction spell. And speaking of distorted shape, I got all 3 ranks in mage armor, which with ebony flesh is going to make us a little more tanky. We're still squishy compared to like a warrior or somebody with an armor cap. But distorted shape, this is a big one here. So when you gain an armor spell in combat or enter combat with an active armor spell, you become intangible and unable to be affected by spells or attacks for 10 seconds or until you perform an offensive or defensive action. So as long as I can keep from casting a spell within 10 seconds after entering combat, because I do have ebony flesh and that's the only thing I have hooked up to Okado's recital, I am completely intangible for a full 10 seconds, which gives my minions and followers plenty of time to take the aggro away from my enemies, right? So that's a very key combination that we're using there. A lot of people will take all 3 slots of Okado's recital, and if you're looking at Okado's recital outside of the scope of mage armor and distorted shape, then yeah, you want to fill that out with, you know, cloak spells, different kind of alteration spells, maybe restoration spells like tree rings, or something that gives you a continuous health regen. But if you're running mage armor and distorted shape, this is well worth skipping out on those other 2 spell slots in Okado's recital, because once you enter combat and you get that flesh spell, you're going to get distorted shape, but then as soon as your cloak spell or anything else you have fires off, you're going to lose that immediately. So if you're running distorted shape, only take your flesh spell in Okado's recital and leave those other 2 slots blank. You can use things like Spell Twine and Wellock's Dormant Arcana to strengthen up your spells outside of that. But yeah, don't do any auto triggers if you're doing distorted shape. And then energy shield reduces incoming attack and elemental damage by 35%, but you lose magicka equal to the health lost. So this just makes us a little more tanky. 35% damage reduction is on top of armor cap. So even if you're at the armor cap, this still reduces incoming damage further. So attack reduction is a different bucket than armor. So whenever you see reduces attack or reduces elemental damage, that's really good to have on top of even a tanky, fully armored character. Pro tip there. And then enchanting, just whatever I can do to buff up my enchantments, right? So both ranks of mastery, gem dust, which is very powerful. It's better at late game because you have like a full stock of those flawless gems. Make sure that you're mining all the ore that you see. Not really mage-like, but you will get some gems out of it for sure. And also like urns from Draugr dungeons are a good source of gems as well. Regalia, new enchantments placed on robes, circlets, hoods, basically anything that's not a weapon or armor. 30% stronger. That's huge for a mage because you know you're not wearing anything armored anyway. Twin enchantments, no brainer. You get to put 2 enchantments on, and then attunement. So this just makes everything that you have equipped 10% more powerful, and or last 10% longer. So it's kind of a no-brainer there too. And that 10% goes farther the more powerful your enchantments are, your existing enchantments are. This is for existing enchantments. It doesn't make new enchantments 10% more powerful, just the stuff that's already on the equipment that you're wearing. So like things like unique weapons, the effects on those will be 10% more powerful when you equip them. And then I still need to take the other 2. So we've already had 6 perks sort of saved for those destruction subtree perks. What I'm going to do with the other 2 of the total 8 that we have available, or will at level 50, is Arcane Nexus, which is going to make our enchantments more powerful, and then Miracle, which allows us to put a 3rd enchantment on something. Which I might be able to do with Death Shroud, which I think, was it Kine? Or was it Roswitha that suggested Death Shroud? Roswitha did. I see the chat now. Mr. B, welcome, buddy. Hope you had a good birthday, man. I was able to stop by for a little bit. Glad I was able to do that for you. You did, yeah, yep, Roswitha. Let's see. Maelstrom will be amazing. Yes, it also helps with fortified destruction, if I remember correctly. Yeah, probably. If it just enhances all of the destruction effects and spells, then yeah, it'll make even destruction effects. But we don't have any destruction effects. Hey, thanks, Haster, for getting Mr. B's name out there. Cool stuff. You did? Awesome. Glad to hear it. All right, so I'm just waiting to take this Arcane Nexus perk until we can get... I just have to decide on which enchanter I want to use, what player home. I do have access to the Archmage's Chamber, which could be a great headquarters for Calendil here. There's also one in the tower. Oh my god. Somebody up there doesn't like me. We're doing all these Daedra binds here. So yeah, that's the plan where I have for everything. There's also that AE tower. I don't remember the name of the tower, but it's a very good mage thing, and I think that one also gives you access to transform your Grand Soul Gems into Black Soul Gems, which could be very useful as well. I don't know. Still, if you have any suggestions for what to use as a player home, please let me know. I might be able to is Arcane Nexus something that you can disenchant, disassemble, like you can with the smithing ones? Oh, it can't be disassembled by sneaking, allowing you to upgrade to another. Okay, yeah. So not a huge decision there. I can move it around if I need to. And even if that does cost gold the next time around, I should have plenty of it at that point. Gallows Hall does that. It's the one I'm using now. Mirror Watch is the tower near. Thank you. Yes, that's what I was looking for. Karen Theory, if you want to do some work to get it running. Right. Karen Theory I've used a lot. I don't have that running in this current mod list. But I am a big fan of Karen Theory. It's a very cool player home. Very active player home. Yeah, you do have to do the work to get it up and running, but it's fun that way. It makes it feel like a little more of an accomplishment, like you earned everything that you're getting from it. Okay, so let's go now. Stop by Raylus, see how he's doing at Kolbjorn Barrow. Oh, crap. Minions, help me out here. Still in distorted shape, so we're good. I was afraid I was just gonna kill Belrand outright there, but I think now that we have companions in sight, I don't have to worry about that as much. We did kill, what's his name? Yoramir, in one of the early episodes, just with some splash damage or just spraying flames out too much without being careful. He was our first follower from Riverwood. Nordic jewelry. This comes with the AE CC stuff. Speaking of CC stuff, there was a new Bards expansion that just got released from King Ath. I think it's like $10, but everybody's saying it's same quality as an official DLC. It looks interesting. It does add like a lot of things that Ordinator already does for like the Bard subtree and the speech tree. So it does have like quests and mechanics that will strengthen shouts. It does allow you to play music in the course of a battle to affect your enemies and allies. And it really expands that quest line. Adds new characters, new followers. It's professionally voice acted. And everybody's giving it glowing reviews. Even people who normally don't like the paid mod system, or in fact hate it, are giving this thing glowing reviews, saying it's basically, you know, just DLC. Just it's not coming from Bethesda, it's coming from King Ath, who is a top-notch cream of the crop modder. He's the one who does the sim settlements. He also has the East Empire Company paid mod out there for Skyrim too. Which a lot of people did like. I haven't played it. I think my main hang up on it is just that it's going to overlap too much with Ordinator, and I'm in Irem first and everything else second because of the brand I have on my channel for buildcraft, and an Irem kind of does buildcraft better than any other mod or overhaul out there. So. What's that one going for money-wise? $10. So cheaper than, you know, the DLC, official DLC, but not really bad for everything that you get. The value proposition is not bad according to Gopher and all the other reviewers. Oh, fuck that. There you go. Magus is out. Okay, Kolbjorn. How's my encumbrance doing? 246. I'm considering getting it for my PS5 because the nice overhauls aren't over there, and I can't use those obviously because of the scripting restrictions on those.
The challenger is here.
When there's free shit, yeah, and there are things that expand the either the Bard class or the Bard's quest line. I haven't used any of that stuff because, you know, again, deny first and then everything else second. But I would imagine I don't know. The King Ath stuff is just so good, though. I don't imagine that you're going to get something as good quality for free in this case. But you might be able to find something that's close with a combination of things. You don't have to spend any money on at all. Let's see. I think there's a locked box over here somewhere, or am I making shit up? Old Atius farm cellar needs a key. Yeah, I might be remembering things that didn't actually happen. Still $10 for one mod. Yeah, but it's bigger than your average mod, right? It's not just like a weapon or a piece of armor or even just a follower. It's a lot of mods, right? There are follower mods, there are quest mods, there are item mods, there are new lands, new dungeons. Take the jelly and alchemical stuff. The entire game with CC. Yeah, well, that's on sale. This is new. I don't remember this being here. And the CC stuff does go on sale every once in a while, so you might be able to wait for a sale, or you know, get it in a compilation with other stuff. It's rare that it happens, but it does happen. You might be able to get it for really cheap at some point. But that's one of the things that makes capitalism great, right? If you don't want to spend your money on it, you don't got to spend your money on it. I want to get rid of that Bloodskull blade. I better go talk to Grecian soon. Gavin Gaines, hello, hello. Gonna get you fired up. Sorry, buddy. Didn't mean to make you mad. All right. Might be other burned down house that has the lock. Yeah, there's another.
Of course.
There's another house, I think, more toward the east of it. Yeah, like closer to the Citadel over here. Which we can hit on our way over to Tel Mithrin over here, because we need to go speak to Talvis, right? Kolbjorn, here we go. Not mad at all, just to talk about it all the time, and it's beating a dead horse at this point. It's making Bethesda not concentrate on other products.
The ancestors knew how to build, no doubt. Continue
to suck in revenue. Well, yeah, the creations though are not BGS; they're external, right? But yeah, we can nip this in the bud if it's just gonna escalate.
Damn it. What am I
Well, your biggest problem right now is that you're not using a pickaxe or a shovel to actually dig anything up. You're not going to get anywhere with your bare hands, buddy. There's a perfectly good pickaxe and a shovel right behind you.
What's the matter with you? Sorry, I've just had a lot of hawk-faced cowards coming by to mock my efforts.
Some of them are. Yeah, not this one.
The name's
But those ones are all really small.
Out of Moorhold. I've got a financier waiting for me back on the mainland. Sent me here in the interests of obtaining...
At least the ones in Starfield that I've seen, anyway.
The relics of Arzador. But this whole thing became a disaster right quick, let me...
How these teams are usually situated in the software industry is that you're like your main teams working on your main product all the time. And then there's also this concept known as the Mythical Man Month, where the more you would think from the outside in that you just throw more engineers at a problem and they'll be able to code and everything, get it done faster. But that's actually not the case. The more people you throw at something, the more it slows it down because of the overhead management, getting people ramped up on an extremely complicated solution. Usually will actually slow down a product instead of, or a project instead of speeding it up. So they have their dedicated people working on their projects like Elder Scrolls 6 and their Starfield expansions and things like that. Just throwing more people into those projects are not going to make those things go any faster. It doesn't work that way. With complicated solutions like this, it's like, you know, even if you have somebody who's like this badass like house builder or whatever, and you're working on this big ass mansion or this corporate commercial building, he's not going to have an impact right away. The current foremen and the architects and everything are going to need to get them ramped up on the current situation depending on where they are in the project. And while that happens, they're not working on getting it done. They're working on getting this other guy up to speed. And the more you do that, the more you're going to put the project behind. It's a common engineering pitfall in a lot of industries, but more so software, because you're not constrained by physical limitations that you are with like building cars or building buildings. So they'll have a dedicated team. They'll stick with that team. They might add more people if they need more artists or things like that that aren't going to affect the projects. So then it's like they'll have like interns and stuff work on the Creation Club content or, you know, whatever. It's very minimal. I don't think any of this Creation Club content is putting Elder Scrolls 6 behind or any other piece of content.
Do you have the gold?
Well, yeah, but that's not a BGS thing. That's a state of the industry thing. Our Rockstar put out Red Dead Redemption 5, like, I don't know. It's going to be like 10 years between that and Grand Theft Auto 6 at this point.
I'll head back to
it's just that AAA gaming is way more complex. The art generation, the games are much bigger, which I think is probably the biggest problem, is that these games keep swelling up with filler and things like that. If you just gave us like a nice little tight 40-hour experience and then gave us the modding tools like BGS and CDPR do, we can add our own content to the game. We don't need an entire night city to explore when you can add on to it later. Did they put out anything in between? No, they're just supporting their online stuff, but they still had their development team isn't working on that stuff. CDPR is another one. They don't do online stuff. They do just AAA games, and they're independent, so they don't have to do all the DLC and stuff. But like, if you look at the release between The Witcher 2 and The Witcher 3, and then The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk, there's much longer between that. And then if you look at the next Witcher project, now they have multiple teams, so it's a little less clear how that timeline goes. They have separate teams working on each thing now.
It's a shame.
No match at all.
But I'm sure that the distance between Cyberpunk and Cyberpunk 2 is going to be much greater than it was between The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 1. Just because of the nature of AAA gaming and how complex these games are and how detailed the art is for it. Let's see here. Where are we going? Tel Mithrin. Did I actually pay Rallis? Yeah, I did. Okay. And I don't have much money left either. I got to keep an eye on that as well, because this gets expensive. And so are spells. PGA's put out special edition, anniversary edition, then monetized creations, and also Fallout 76, which wasn't a mainline production, as far as I've heard, but it did take a lot of the engineers' time. That was a bigger distraction than anything creations. Because there were engine level changes that they needed to make to the creation engine in Fallout 76 that they did need to take some of those main guys, the main engineers, off of Starfield to work on. Shit show 76, yeah. Well, that's one thing we'll agree on. 76 was a mistake. There are a lot of people who like that game. Roll Oyster, that's what I'm looking for. And it has, I guess, redeemed itself in a lot of people's eyes, but that was one thing where I was like, no, don't work on this. Do your single player stuff. I did actually, after a certain point, after they quote-unquote fixed 76, I gave it the benefit of the doubt, and I did try it, and it was still crappy. I didn't like it. Is this an unbound Atronach? I thought that thing was, like, bound by the dude I just... Oh, he's not dead, that's why. Wow. This Thunderbolt is just destroying folks. Yeah, the Thunderbolt does not do as much damage against these Apocrypha creatures. Never should have been made 76. Yep, that we can agree on. That was just them following that live service money. I don't think that wasn't like a Todd and gang choice. That was, although I think Todd has kind of sold his soul at this point, to be honest. Yeah, I was listening to an interview, I think it was a Mr. Matty's Play interview with him, and he was talking about his good friend Andy Wilson that he talks with. He's like, don't be chummy with that guy. That guy's like single-handedly ruining the gaming industry with his FIFA bullshit.
Can I help you?
Why can't I
Is there anything else you need?
loot these guys? There's jelly, alchemical ingredients here that I can't seem to... Oh well, guess it doesn't matter. Probably making everybody dizzy with my crazy movements here anyway. I think they can be done, but if you're the live service stuff, you got to design the game first, though. You can't start from the point of, okay, we want a live service game so that we can monetize this shit. Have a good game first, and then if there's room for it, you can add the live service stuff on. In the best case scenario, a live service game is, okay, you have a bunch of people who like this awesome game that you made and they just want more of it, and that's a way to continue to, you know, build your business while you provide these games to players who want more of it with non-stop content. I play Diablo 4, but I don't pay a monthly subscription for it. I paid for the I think the premium edition of the game because I wanted some stuff to put on my shelf. But I haven't paid any more money on top of that. And I've been happy with the content that they've been feeding me on behalf of all the whales who are spending money on it. So it can work. I still enjoy Diablo 4 a lot. That is a live service game. Doesn't implement any really pay-to-win mechanics. So I've been happy with it. But that was all just for the price of admission.
Why are you out here?
Oh, those spiders. I thought they were ash hoppers. That's, yeah, I was seeing ash hoppers.
I'm trying to get this Ash Guardian spell to work.
Do a quick save here. It's been a while since I saved, and that Ash Guardian can be a little tough.
Besides, shouldn't you be worrying about the damage to the tower?
Master Neloth has tasked Alenia with repairing the tower.
Been playing Diablo Immortal. Love playing the Blood Knight.
It would be safer for all of us.
Yeah, Diablo Immortal is even more live servicey than Diablo 4, and that game's been around forever.
No need to bother him about
Don't you guys have phones? Ugh. Blizzard still hasn't lived that one down.
Just let me get back inside first.
No Ash Guardian. Maybe the book has something.
We don't get many visitors.
But yeah, Fallout
Is there
76
something you need?
was okay. We want a live service game because we want to be able to get that current that revenue stream, right? That was the publisher dictating to the guys making the game, you know, make this kind of game because we want to make Fortnite money on it. It wasn't like, okay, we have a good idea for this online Fallout 4 game, or even just this online Fallout, or even just a Fallout game, and then maybe we can put online stuff on it if it works. It was, no, we're starting from this recurring revenue model, and then we're making a game off of that. So yeah, I agree. Fallout 76 never should have been. That was corrupted and
Tel Mithrin. It's the home of Master Neloth. You may have heard of him. He's a
the
famous
word I'm looking for?
Telvanni wizard.
that was corrupted from the very beginning. That was all about making money,
In Morrowind, Master Neloth grew one No.
which all
Telvis
game
is his
development
apprentice.
is really,
I'm his
right?
student.
But
I manage the day-to-day affairs.
ideally,
of
you want to
Telvanni.
have the business people doing the business thing, and then the creative game developers making the games that they want to make, because then you're going to get the good games, and then you just got to figure out how to sell these good games, right? But then you start getting the publishers dictating game design to the game developers, and then you just get a bunch of shitty games that are overly monetized and even harmful in some cases. With the whole loot box things that was now outlawed in a lot of country. I wish we could get that outlawed here in the US too. There's bipartisan support for it, just you know, need to prioritize it with everything else. Gambling mechanics, yeah, for like kids and things like that. Bad stuff, bad stuff. I'm kind of the same way, Ross, with the ugly cities and then the college being crazy. That's kind of what I got set up to. I have immersive college of Winterhold, and then I have pretty much vanilla towns and cities with, you know, just the texture replacers and things like that to make it look a little nicer, but yeah, not huge and elaborate. Okay, what do I need to do here? Let's go talk to Neloth. Running JK's college this time around and am pleasantly impressed with it. Nice. I've run a lot of the JK stuff, and it's like not stuff that I would like want to spend a plug-in on generally.
I don't recall inviting you into my
Some
tower.
interesting ways of rearranging things, but for the most part, it's like I don't really pay too much attention. When you're focused on like character building and stuff, even like roleplay, you don't really need those big elaborate city and town overhauls. With roleplay, it can help a little bit, but mostly that's just for exploration and getting the sense of something new, or maybe having these cities and towns meet the expectations of what you would have from meeting, like going into like a big city or town in a game like this. It doesn't really fit into it doesn't, it's not a detriment to like what I want from this game, but it doesn't really add anything for me, you know. So JKs I've used quite a bit, especially for like the smaller stuff like Falkreath and like Iverstead and things like that, Darkwater Crossing. Gutting all the JK interior mods with my personal set. Yeah, the interior stuff is kind of even to a bigger extent than the towns and cities. That and ridding the JK and Lux patches will free 780 plugins. That's what I'm talking about. And all the patches that you need with that crap. Well, you're probably including the patches and stuff. Jesus. It's a lot. It's a lot. I got like halfway through it on the Nolva stuff, and then I was like, you know what? I don't even need this. It's not going to add anything to my experience. Using the MCOW college base with the Chantry College overhaul. Nice. Yeah, people like Obscures. Immersive College of Winterhold had the I don't want to be the Archmage option that I gravitated to, and it has some like hidden quest lines and stuff in it that I haven't explored yet.
They are off working on their
Still have a total of like 1,500 mods, just all those patch plugins. Yeah.
Make them stop.
And that for me is the biggest pain in the ass of creating a new setup, is just getting all the patches and everything. MCOW, ICOW are nice looking too. MCOW I'm not familiar with. Obscures and Immersive. Those are the two I have experience with. So the MCOW and JKs, I would be interested in seeing what that's all about.
If I could get... I've made... Of course, the creature will have to be dead first, but I trust that's something you can bring about. Are we done?
Oh, are we done? So. Man, Neloth is one of the best NPCs in the game. of the Bethesda stuff, for sure. There's so much character in that character. Magical College. Yes, okay, that sounds familiar now. We got that back on console back in the early 20... Yeah, okay. That does sound familiar now that you mention it. I think it was the only college overhaul, and then I jumped to PC in 2018. Nice, okay.
There's someone there?
Okay.
You've got to help me. I conjured an Ash Guardian, and now it's
I can see that. Yep.
Thank you.
Stop talking to me and let me kill the thing.
Master Neloth distracted.
You're keeping me distracted is what you're doing. Okay, I need ward, please. Okay. Shock took care of him pretty easily there. Nice, nice. Okay, so what does Talvis have? I think he has like a bound dagger. I think there's like a poison rune. There's and then all the ash stuff, right? I heavily recommend Chantry College Overhaul. If you don't know of it, I'd look it up. You need MCOW as a base for it, though. Chantry College Overhaul. Nice. Okay. Yeah, if it's only textures, then there really shouldn't be any kind of requirement for that. But if he's including the textures for, or he or she is including the textures for MCOW, it just won't use them if you're doing vanilla. If it's just textures.
Is it done? Is the Ash Guardian gone? What a relief. I can't pay you, but I could teach you the Ash Guardian spell. Although, maybe that doesn't sound like a good idea to you after this. I do have a staff I could give you instead. If you think the Ash Guardian
and the imbued spiders? The imbued spiders I thought were the dungeon dive. I don't remember the name of the mage, but there's a thing that you can put ingredients into, and it's like a crafting station to craft the spiders that then act like scrolls. I don't think that's an actual spell that you get from Talvis, right? Let's see. Just take the staff. Yeah, we're not really a staff mage.
But remember, don't cast this without a Heartstone.
Brady's College.
The Guardian will attack everyone, including you.
Got it. Don't cast Ash Guardian without a Heartstone.
That's right. Don't be like me and have to learn the hard way. Here's the spell tome and a Heartstone so you can try it safely.
Thank you, sir.
I had you figured.
Bound Dagger. I think Odin actually makes Bound Dagger available everywhere, though. So I might already have Bound Dagger. Actually, don't even see Bound Dagger here anywhere. Conjure Bound Dagger. Maybe summon? Got a lot of stuff. Not that I have the money to buy all this stuff now anyway. Summoning Rune. Wow, that's an expensive spell. This must be an Arcanum one. This is like the Elemental Blast spell from AE. Trying to find his stuff here. You passed it, it's near the top. It's just Bound, it's not Conjure, huh? Yeah, there we go. Bound Quiver, that's another Arcanum one, I think. Bound Hunting Knife, Bound Dragon's Crescent, Bound Bow. Do not see Bound Dagger. Yeah, Odin. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, I already have it. Odin gives this to general vendors anyway, I think. Ash Shell. Nice. Ash Rune. I have to go through and sell all my stuff, though. I don't want to really do that on stream. Anyway, I gotta enchant all the stuff that I have with scrap lower level soul gems. Ash Rune. There's a bunch of other stuff, too. Let's, I just want to take a quick look at Odin and Apocalypse and see all the other stuff that Talvis has available. So anything that says TF on it is a Talvis thing. So Ash Shell, we've seen. Ash Rune, we've seen. That's an expert level spell. What else? We got anything else here? Conjure Ash Spawn, which we already got. Conjure Ash Guardian. Oh, no, we don't have Ash Spawn. What does TV stand for? Must be a TF. Conjure Ash Spawn, huh? I have to look at that. Ash Spawn is different from an Ash Guardian. Ash Spawn's those things that we were fighting off with the guard captain. Captain Velith. Might actually be a more useful summon for a meat shield anyway. Whirlwind Cloak from Talvis as well. A Frenzy Rune, Fear Rune, Calming Rune, and Command Rune. All from Talvis. These are all pretty cool. Probably more powerful than that Frenzy spell. Chance to fail on targets above 15. Yeah, it hits higher level enemies. Got anything for restoration? Poison Rune. There was a Poison Rune I was talking about. Okay, and then Apocalypse. Nothing Talvis specific in Apocalypse. Okay. So Conjure Ash Spawn was one. I just want to see what that costs. Pretty expensive, yeah. Okay. Let's see. We have about an hour left in our window here. Why don't we do Temple of Mirak? That should take us to the end of the stream, probably. Downside of the rune spells is that even with quiet casting perk, once you cast them, they hit their target location, they make noise. Okay. Yeah, we're not a sneak character, but yeah, if you're a sneaky mage, definitely could be an issue. The downside is it messes with the door to the Fort Dawnguard, making it look like Snow Elven. Ah, the Chantry stuff. I gotcha. So they're probably using... It's probably console friendly. Which is probably why Rosswith is recommending it. I think for console players, yeah, it would be great. Not as many options over there. It just reuses the same textures from the Snow Elf stuff. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I don't know anything about the mods. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and use one of these Allmaker stones. Kick that off. No, is this... You don't have to do the main quest line before you do the Mirax stuff, do you? I don't think so.
Here do we toil.
On Xbox, we got Obscure, MCOW, and JK. Okay. Yeah, I was kind of inferring from the recommendations you were making that maybe you're on console.
That we might remember.
Here we refrain. What faithless minds have stolen? Far from ourselves.
Nope, any order you want. Okay, thank you. What the fuck?
Now, through me, do you see?
I don't see anything but a big piece of rock. And I was hoping to see an arrogant Dunmer around here somewhere.
And when the world shall listen, and when the world shall
Maybe I made a mistake by going to Tel Mithrin first.
and when the world remembers.
Because usually, like, it's the first thing you do is you come over here to the Earthstone. You're like, oh, what's this thing? You touch it, and then you come out of it, and then Neloth is here to talk to you about it. But I went to Tel Mithrin first. And now I don't see Neloth. Immersive needs SKSE. Yep, it does. It has an MCM. A lot of other stuff going on there. Obscure needs Sky UI, which needs MCM, or which needs SKSE. But that was easy to remove for console players. Oh, okay. You should just be able to get to Mirax Temple. Just go to Mirax Temple. Okay. Let's do that. Can't fast travel when there's enemies nearby. There are enemies nearby? Oh, there's a dragon. A Durgan! You gonna fight me or what, bro? Come at me, bro.
Dragon! It's a dragon!
Try to keep this. Oh crap! I don't have any minions. Oh no! Gotta stay far away from him and keep my ward up. With my Fortified Destruction Potion, should be able to take this guy out pretty easily. There we go. Just out of curiosity, how much damage is this doing now? With my potion active. 276 per shot. Not bad.
Now, but where did it come from?
Not too shabby. And we got another soul for another shout. Don't mind if I do. Get that blood, get those ingredients. Don't need the meat. Belran, get back over here. Need you to hold some shit for me.
What is it? Of course.
Oh, and I wanted to finish up with Cretan too. So let's go back to Raven Rock. So we can offload this Blood Skull Blade as well. I don't think that's actually taking up any encumbrance, but I just don't like having it in my inventory.
What else you need?
And then we'll head to Mirax from there. Oh, so I went through the perks. I never went through the equipment that I had that I worked on this week. So yeah, I crafted some new gear here. So I did the crafting equipment, which, you know, with twin enchantments gets you smithing and alchemy in the same set. So that's nice. And I boosted that up with the gem dusts and enchanting potions and things like that. So with those active, I was able to craft some new gear. I had the black mage robes before. So now on the boots, we were able to do twin enchantments. So I got 2 slots on each item. Just got silver medal and taekwondo. Sweet. So we get 69% resist to fire, 3% chance per second to restore 140 points of health, magicka, and stamina. So that's the windfall. 3% per second is this does proc quite often. So that's good. On the hands, we have 17% chance to loot additional magic item from people that you kill. I just didn't have anything else to put on the hands that I really needed, so this was just kind of by default, just put that on there. There are still some enchantments that I would like to have that I don't. So having an additional chance to get magic items to get more enchantments is nice. And then Fortify Magicka by 93 points. On the hoods, we have Fortify Destruction. So destruction spells cost less. I can spam those more often. And Magicka regenerates 121% faster. So yeah, I can replenish my Magicka stores very quickly. On the body, the main priority here was getting Amplify Destruction, which in the newer version of Summer Mist, this is the only place you can put this. So I put it on the body, and with the Regalia perk, which gives us a boost, a 30% boost to enchantments on robes, we got 36% stronger, which is great. And that's on top of the 60% that we get from the potion, and then all the other, 30% and 10% boosts that we get throughout the perk trees in Ordinator. And then Fortify Minions also. So within 61 feet, conjured creatures get 25% attack damage and 100 health. This is also a no-brainer if you're running a minion build, in my opinion. So the body is where all the good stuff is. And then I think when I do my the miracle perk with the 3 enchantments, I'll probably put that on a body because I think there's more that I can do there. Either there or like an amulet or a ring that has a bunch of different stuff. And then for the ring, I have 69% resistance to frost, and then the new triptych enchantment, which is the new version of Summer Mist, has this enchantment where if you have a resist frost, shock, and fire enchantments, then you get an extra 25% of each one of them. Great for dragons. And then we have Mordecai here, which is the first Dragon Priest mask that we've obtained, I believe. Might have something like Croesus or something, but that's really more like sneaky thief stuff. And I did also go and fix the enchantment. It was at 0% earlier because of the change that Anai made to the Deep Breath enchantment. he changed it from being a 0 to 1 range for a percentage to a 0 to 100. I think that's going to enable him to do more stuff with his Futhark overhauls going forward. But it did break both the Amulet of Talos, which he did fix, but also Morake, which he did not. So I went and fixed that in the Summer Mist plugin. I just changed it to just copied with override from the vanilla mask enchantment to the Summer Mist plugin, and then just made that, instead of a 0.2, made it a 20, and that fixed it. And that on top of the buffs that we get for being an elf, and also the buff that we get for the just buffed enchantments overall from that enchanting perk, that brings it up to 25% reduced shout cooldown. And then I'm still wearing the Galder amulet because it's going to make our skill progression 10% faster and our destruction spells 10% more powerful. But I do also have another silver necklace here that I have in my favorites menu when I do fight dragons. If I remember to do it, and or mages, it'll grant a huge amount of resistance to shock, and that's the third element that we need for that triptych effect to kick in. So we're going to be very resistant to magic if we're wearing all that stuff. And then also just fortifies magic by 120 points so that we have deeper magical pools. So that's the new stuff that we're running. And I was having an identity crisis with this guy because there's an Ash spawn fight going on. In the previous weeks, I was kind of like, I was wondering like where I'm going with this character. There are just so many spells that I was trying to focus on spell combinations first and foremost. When I shifted my focus to perks and enchantments, that got a lot better. Everything became more clear. It's the same sort of mindset that I was taking for my warrior, where it's like, okay, I'm not focusing on specific weapon types. I'm focusing more on how to strengthen all weapon types. That made everything a lot easier, right? Now he can use whatever weapon he wants because everything else has been buffed up through either enchantments or, more importantly, smithing. Now I can do the same thing with just the enchanting skill tree. I can buff up all spells, and now it doesn't really matter what spells that I use if I just need to use one. I was looking for broken spell combinations before and trying to build a playstyle off of that instead of just, you know, trying just to become a more powerful mage, which I should have been doing from the start. Yeah, Russia got Russia got ousted. Should just be able to go to Mirak. We'll go do Mirak now. We gotta go talk to Cretion first, though. He's over here. If it's late enough. Or early enough. Taekwondo, I tried to watch some Taekwondo. I couldn't get into it. It was basically just each person booping them each other in the belly with their feet.
You're back.
It wasn't fun to watch for me. But you know, you can...
Let me see that.
There was like no movement. There was like no... There wasn't any like variation in the attacks. It was just all, you know, light, quick body kicks.
Now that I have his
because that's how you score points.
I can get some closer from the East Empire Company. Make them pay for...
But yeah, if you're rooting for a specific person, that's going to make it a lot more entertaining.
Now,
what happened there? More doping since their athletes can't get it done naturally. I think that was a heavy part of it. And then also the Ukraine war was condemned by like pretty much all the other countries that are participating, including China, funnily enough. Let's see. All right, that's done. Let's go to Mirak. It would have been a weird, interesting, and probably pretty uncomfortable dynamic seeing Ukrainian athletes competing against Russian athletes. But on the other hand, it's like the Olympics is supposed to be the one place where we can all come together. regardless of our differences, right? So in that aspect, it would have been nice to see Russia there. That's kind of a sad part of it. Where the hell am I going? I need to head north. Yeah, there are a lot of allegations for doping in China too, but they've been killing it in some of the events. They were like I said, I was watching the breakdancing competition last night, which is funny as hell that that's even an Olympic sport, but it was entertaining to watch. And those Chinese dancers were killing it, man. You wouldn't think like China as like a hotbed for breakdancing, but apparently. Just some of like the acrobatic stuff that they were doing out there, man. Just like these spinning, flying, one-handed handstand hop windmill things. A fire wizard and a frost wizard. Unlucky for you both.
Well,
I know shock spells. Poor athletes can think they're oligarchs for war. Sucks, you're 100% right. Competition would have been nice to see without drop. Yeah. Yep. Actually, they were ousted officially last Olympics too. I don't remember if that was if it was the Winter Olympics or if that went all the way back to the Tokyo Summer Olympics 4 years ago. But they couldn't compete under the Russian flag. They had to. It was like a Russian Olympic Committee. They were competing under the ROC banner, not Russia itself. And this time they don't even seem to be able to do that, which does suck.
Of course.
But yeah, the juicing, that is a major problem that cannot be, abided by or condoned. So, and unfortunately, certain countries, Russia's right there at the top for those. They were, they were becoming a problem that couldn't be ignored anymore. So, like, what do you do? North Korea was the same too, but for changing ages, something like that. Yeah. Oh, there was one. Israel and Russia are still allowed, even if not. Well, I thought Israel was allowed officially. I don't know. Okay, Mirak, Mirak. Wherefore art thou, Mirak? 40 minutes. Can we do this in 40 minutes? I think we can. Okay, we got Ash Spawn. Oh, not Ash Spawn, Ash Burnt Spriggans. Kaboom! You okay, Belran? Yeah, it didn't feel too good. Ah, you're fine. He's fine. Just put some ointment on it. You'll be good. Oh, I did get caught in some splash damage there, though. Oh, stupid me. I was talking about how important minions are this whole time, and then just freaking running around without any minions. Real dumb. Okay, we got the dude with Stormfang over here. Stormfang is something that Zim needs to get a hold of. Oh, they're over there fighting like freaking ash hoppers or something. Easy enough. Yeah, Stormfang is a unique weapon, but it just has a regular vanilla model to it, and it's just a simple. I mean, it's a powerful enchantment, but it still is just a shock enchantment. It seems like something that would be prime for something like either a uniques mod or Zims. And I am up to date with Zims right now, so he has not as of yet touched it. And another East Empire Company strongbox. Yeah, Israel's still there. I saw a few of their athletes competing, I think, in something. I don't remember exactly what. There's a few nice Stormfang model. It's just a one-off, just for Stormfang itself. Yep, okay. I'll have to look into those. It's probably something simple enough that I can just ESLify it if it's not already. If it even has it probably doesn't even need a plugin, honestly, if it's just a model replacer. So I could just drop that in and be good to go. I'll have to look for them. Yeah, because that's something that, even if it's not doing anything unique, it should be at least looking unique.
What can I help you with? Of course.
I'll take a look, see what I can find, and just drop something in that doesn't... It's not going to mess with my load order or anything. Oh, nice. Thanks for the link. It does need a better enchantment. Well, yeah, like I said, it's strong. It's a powerful enchantment. That 50 shock damage. I don't know if it's level based though. It might be a leveled weapon. The enchantment strength on it, but 50 is a pretty strong enchantment for the vanilla game. But it's still just, you know, a regular vanilla enchantment, and you don't have to need like a new like funky enchantment. I mean, even something just like a combination enchantment on it, like shock and maybe I don't know, like reduce armor or something on it. Like shock and then weakness to shock or something, or shock and like a knockback effect like from wind shear would be cool too. And that's all stuff that exists in the game. It's just you have to apply that effect to the weapon in the, you know, either in Xedit or the creation kit. Easy peasy, like one of the easiest things you can do modding this game. It's just adding an enchantment to something. Adding an effect to the enchantment of something. How are my minions doing? You guys are good. You guys are always good. 50 is with the... Well, 55 was with the perks. And I think I only have the 10%. So there are two things that I have affecting... affecting existing enchantment, and one was the enchanting tree, the what's it called, attunement. So this is a 10% buff, and then I get another buff to armor only through Imperius, I think. It's like shimmering threads or something like that, I want to say. Shimmering threads. Weapons and armor are 15% weaker, but enchantments on... Okay, so I do get another 15%. I thought that was armor only. So yeah, you're right. So 55, whatever, you know, that 15% plus 10%, 25%. So a quarter on top of whatever that original value was. So yeah, it's even not that strong. Damn, that sucks. P. Miller, welcome, buddy. Doing great. Playing Skyrim, and I'm actually glad I'm turning a corner with this mage character now. He's really coming into his own. He's feeling strong. He's feeling good, and I was able to keep a general wide gamut of skills mage that I was going for. He's good at pretty much all magic.
That we might remember.
And it's fun to play. It feels strong. So that's good. I'm also getting over an illness, which means I have a lot of yard work to do because I couldn't make myself go out and do yard work last weekend. So the grass is really getting crazy on me. So got my work cut out for me a little bit, but you know what? It'll be good to get everything looking good out there again. Okay, we got a crash. Very nice. I was wondering where, why, what's her name wasn't firing off. Surviving today. No rain here. Nice and sunny and warm. Nice. Sounds like an excuse. Yeah. It was an excuse. Well, actually, I did go out there and I was, last weekend, I was cleaning up the dog poop, because the dog has kidney issues now and she's doing fine, but I need to keep an eye on, you know, what's coming out of her to make sure she's not having any extra problems, and that was all good. Also, that gets out of hand too if your grass gets long, and just gotta, you know, those doggy landmines out there to stay much more hidden. So I went out and did that, and I was getting ready to mow the grass, and I was like, the fatigue just hit me. I was out of breath and I was coughing and nose was stuffed, and it just, you know, it wasn't good. So I came back in, took a shower, and went back to bed. Had some sort of weather event yesterday, like a tornado. Doing all right. Depression and anxiety is getting... Oh, that's good. Hey, Karn, did you know the Zakrisos mask affects all storm effects, so that includes spells, shouts, and weapon enchantments? I did know that. I actually heavily leveraged that in my astronomer build. Or astrologer build. Yeah, so where's Freya? Great. We got something pretty borked over here, I think. You've done the quest quickly? Yeah, we got something borked here. I've been through this several times with the same exact load order. Oh, hold on. Cancel. Ah, it's gonna load anyway. Let's see what we got in our overwrite. See what the crash log says. Should be the same thing for each one of them. What do we got here? Male head Dremora? E-bomb. Don't know what P-bomb is. I don't know what P-array is. Could be the Dremora causing something. Impact FX, medium performance. I don't think that's causing anything. I think that's just a... Yeah, I don't know. Wonders of... It's probably Wonders of Weather. Yeah, probably Wonders of Weather. Because we are having some kind of... we're having a weather event over here in the game, too, that's probably causing it. It's a CT... Yeah, it's hit me before. Probable call stack. Skin instance. Whole bunch of memory stacks here that don't really tell us much. Base gen. Which is going to show up in all stacks because you're going to have NPCs that are loaded pretty much everywhere. Crash logger is better to read. In In registers, look for a form ID. So like, I just see memory addresses. I don't see form IDs. just hexadecimal memory addresses. This could be a form ID though. You're likely right with Wonders of Weather. Yeah, I'm thinking so. Probably going to be the same in this other one too. Oh, this one tells me even less. I think probably what I need to do is I need to reload an earlier save and just wait out the weather. Shitty as a crash logging mod, yeah. Can you run the crash logger alongside the NetScript framework? I know NetScript framework, obviously you need, you know, the net framework in order to run. I think crash logger was the alternative to the NetScript logger. Yeah, okay. Try that out. It'll be good just to have. So, I don't know if we're doing Mirag this time. Wanted to save up and buy a great pre-built. I would at least need 4,100. Oh, geez, that is really expensive. I know that these pre-builts have gone up in price like exponentially over the last few years. But that's a lot. Fuggy Duff mod too. I've never heard of that guy. He's a funny name. Let's see, what do we got? Not Fortius, Landal. Quick auto in. Yeah, we'll just do the auto. Have to do the Stormfang stuff again, but whatevs. Yeah, that's too much. Better off building yourself. You save a lot of money. That's a huge markup over the components. Back during the GPU shortage, it was actually cheaper to buy a pre-built than it was to build your own because of how amped up the GPU prices were. You could get them cheaper through the partner systems of the pre-built companies because they were still price controlled on what deals that they had pre-purchased GPUs for. So their price was controlled. But now it's like, yeah, that's too much. Don't have the time, skills, and no tools to build one. It's not as hard as you would think, but I do get it. You also, with a pre-built, you do get a warranty and support for it. Just do your research on your pre-builts before you go that route. Make sure that their service is good because that's really what you're paying for. Build quality and services. Like customer service, warranties, make sure that they don't like kill RMA returns and things like that. But I feel like you could do better even with a 4090 than $4,000. And you really don't even need a 4090. Honestly, you could probably do super well, play anything with a 4070 Ti. You still get the benefits of the 4070 Ti is a rendering powerhouse. It's got all the VRAM that you need, but then you also get the benefit of DLSS 2 and DLSS 3 with the frame gen, so you're getting a premium experience even for a mid-range card. Yeah, 4,000 is way too much. Even if you have the money, that's too much to burn. 3,000 is better. I would, yeah. If you're, I mean, there's a certain amount of stress that comes with building your own machine too, right? And it's hard to put a price tag on stress because that shit can fuck you up. But if you're targeting a pre-built, I would say about mid 2000s. It should get you a pretty premium product. I would target mid 2000s. If for 3,000, you're probably getting stuff like LEDs and things like that. Right, but there are types of brains, like if you had experience working on cars and stuff, Magus, right? I would say working on computers is easier than working on cars. Because it just, of how everything fits together, you don't really have any physical limitations on things that you can get to or things that you need to take out in order to get to other things. And for the most part, for computers, it's just plug it where it fits, right? Cars are easier, and you also don't, for the most part, don't have to worry about like fluid transfers and everything like that with a PC. Well, it's like a physical thing for you, right? But like I had a Pontiac Grand Dam. I think it was like a 2008 or something like that. No, it wasn't. It was something older than that. It was like a 2003 or something. And it was a great car. I liked it a lot, but it had an intake manifold on the car. It was made out of plastic. The thing that, okay, so you have the radiator with all the coolant in the radiator, right? And then it pumps the radiator it pumps the coolant through the tube out of the radiator and into the engine through what's called an intake manifold. And on that car, the intake manifold was plastic, and it was also right behind the fan of the radiator. So that thing would overheat and break all the time. But in order to replace that one part, you had to take the radiator off. You had to take the whole serpentine belt off, which is not a big deal if you have the right tools for it. But yeah, you had to drain the radiator. You had to take the whole radiator out of the car in order to just get to that one piece that you had to replace. There's nothing like that in a computer. So it heated up and cracked. Yep, and then it would leak. I'd have coolant leaks all over the place. I'd be driving, I'd be fine, and then all of a sudden my car, there would be like a pop and a hiss and steam, and then the car would overheat. And I would have to pull it off the side of the highway, and I knew exactly what happened. You can't drive it when it's like that, because then you're going to damage the engine, crack the block or whatever when it gets too hot, and then, yeah. So then I would have to have it towed back home until I could find a place that would fix it for a reasonable amount of money. And the labor was bad on it too, so it was like it was a $400 to $500 fix every time, not because the part was like, you know, $12 to replace it. And it wasn't even a hard replacement. It was the fact that they had to drain the radiator, hoist the radiator out of the car, even to do the replacement. They were charging me, you know, $300-400 for labor on that, and the time that it took on the rack. Let's see. What should we do in the meet? Do we have any like bounties or anything that I could do here? Maybe we'll just go get Gallows Hall and whatever that tower is called. Labor anymore is, yep. Hopefully this crash. Well, there was a market crash. I don't think there was a labor crash. The labor might be resilient. We'll see what happens. Yeah, Newegg, now Newegg's good. There was a time, the Gamers Nexus did a full expose on Newegg and their RMA process that was just, they were just screwing people over left and right, man. But now that they have all eyeballs on them, they should be fine. New car market, they can't move anything. But that's same with like fast food and stuff. People are, yeah, they've hit their limit on things. Like, people aren't stopping eating out altogether. They're still spending money on food outside of grocery stores. What the hell happened here? Oh, this is one of the vampires. But if you look at like restaurant spending, like sit-down restaurant places, which the prices are comparable that to fast food now. They just stopped buying fast food and now they're spending it on like Texas Roadhouse or whatever now. The same with the cars too. It's like, okay, we're gonna stop buying new cars because, you know, we hit a price threshold where it's just, you know, we're not gonna absorb those price increases anymore. So you either bring your prices down or we're just gonna buy used cars.
Nothing. And therefore
Good quality used cars. So that's what's happening there too. But yeah, they were hiking up prices. You can still order a car, right? And get MSRP on it. It just takes forever, depending on the model that you want. But if you're buying a car right off the lot, those prices are amplified to hell and back for the MSRP. And labor prices are part of it, but a lot of it is just price hikes. They're just hiking the price because people are buying it, or paying for it, they're absorbing it. And now it's like people said, nope, that's enough. So now McDonald's is already lowering their prices, and they can do it. They just, you know, their shareholders were like, holy shit, we're rolling in it now. Let's keep amping up these prices. People are paying for it. Yeah, the auto industry is going to have to... I don't think it was the car makers themselves that were amping up the prices. It was the dealerships.
What can I do for you?
At least that was how it was when we were looking for our Bronco earlier in the year. If we bought right off the lot, we were, you know, going to pay a premium of $20,000 over MSRP because people wanted Broncos. And that was the dealer set price. That wasn't the manufacturer price. MSRP was, you know, what MSRP is. The problem is then to get one for MSRP, you got to put in an order for it and wait months and months and months and months and hope that yours gets picked up within that year before you have to sign up for a new model year. They want to pay a kid $20. Well, there's a labor shortage, right? Those labor costs were amplified before any of the minimum wage stuff. There was a labor shortage during the pandemic that amplified those prices even more. Here in Arizona, I don't think we've had a minimum wage hike. California was the big one. But we haven't had a minimum wage hike in a long time, but they were still, you know, my cousin was making $17 an hour scooping chicken at Panda Express. And that was before any minimum wage hikes. Just because they couldn't find enough people to do the shitty job that they were trying to pay shitty wages for. Putting more money into the economy does have an effect. It does have an inflation effect, but it's usually fairly short. From the research that I've read on it, it's fairly fleeting. Oh, this is nice. All right. All that to say is it's the economy in particular is like more complicated than the weather. There are some things that are going to have a huge effect on things, and some things that are going to have, oh, I need to do some work on the terrain here. This AE stuff. It's more complicated than the weather. Anybody who says, oh, it's simple, all you have to do is this, is they're either lying to you or they're lying to themselves. Nobody fucking knows what's going on. Find a way inside the tower. Oh yeah, this shit. Let's see, I gotta cast a spell on something. It's a flame spell. When people don't spend, the inflation goes up? I think that's the other way around. If people aren't spending, that makes prices go down, which is deflation. Because manufacturers and vendors and stuff have to lower their prices in order to get people to buy their stuff. And that is the exact definition of deflation, right? Besides, I don't think the issue now is that people have too much money to spend, right? I think this was a flame spell. See less spending on their money and gas prices are still over. Yeah, but how does that make sense logically? I have more money, so I'm going to spend less? Or I'm buying more now, so the prices are going to go down? I feel like vendors are going to set their prices based on what people are willing to spend, right? And people are willing to spend more if they have more money, so of course prices are going to go up. If people have less money to spend, they're going to spend less money, and people are going to buy less stuff. So vendors are going to have to lower their prices in order to get people to buy stuff. And that's deflation. So you're saying as long as gas prices are going up, everything's going up? That makes a certain amount of sense. It does drive industry, which drives economy. I could see that. When people have more money, prices will go down, but the pandemic, people saved their money and didn't spend. Well, from everything that I've been reading, the prices are inflated because people kept spending, kept buying stuff at inflated prices. So of course vendors and manufacturers are going to keep their prices inflated because the shareholders are making a shit ton more money now. People had the money to spend, so they were spending it. And that drove prices up and up and up and up and up and up. But now the money that people saved during the pandemic, they've kind of blown through a lot of those savings now. And now that they don't have the money to spend, they're buying less. And I think we're seeing that with prices coming down at like things like McDonald's, and it's gonna hit the car industry and everything else too that has been. Domo said the pre-built that's going to cost me 4,100 is a fair pre-built. Domo? Who's Domo? So should I wait longer when the prices go down?
Until we know the limits. Our courage. Don't really know ourselves.
So I tune into an economics. Yeah, I know. That's stupid. I should be talking about Skyrim. All right. Fed printing all that money. Yeah, so people are blaming the Fed for that, but I think that it was... No, I'm not going to get into it. I think we're looking at two different realities here. I took enough economics in college to know that I hate that shit. And I've done enough research on the current situation to know that it's far more complicated than most people wanna say or wanna believe. And inflation is also a worldwide crisis that is not only affecting the US. In fact, US is handling it a lot better than most other places. So I don't know that you can blame US policy. Now, US being the biggest economy in the world is, of course, going to have an effect on the rest of the world, but not to the effect that it has had, I think. Like I said, it's more complicated than the weather. Anybody who says they know exactly what's going on is, you probably want to take what they're saying with a grain of salt. Okay, let's see. $152. Yeah, you know what? We're not even talking about Skyrim anymore. And I only got about 7 minutes left in my stream, so yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Thanks for tuning in, hanging out. I am liking where this build is going. It's only gonna get stronger from here. I think the next step is just finding those combination of spells that I was trying to start off with. I started off with the wrong priority to begin with. I was trying to find cool combinations of spells from the beginning when I should have been focusing on just increasing general power. And now that I've been focusing on increasing general power through enchanting and different perk choices and things like that, this build really woke up. So yeah, I got some more enchanting to do just to increase that power level, that base level of the power even more. And then from there we can start fiddling with spell combinations and things like that. But at that point, it doesn't really matter on the strength level what those spell combinations are. It's just, you know, what's the most fun. And I'm gonna need some help from you guys from that one. Yep. All right. So that's it for me. If you like this, go ahead and tune in to some of the links that I have in the description below. You're going to see a lot of the usual suspects there, right? Magus streams over on Twitch. He's in the middle of a Necromancer playthrough with Requiem that's been very interesting. Seeing all the ins and outs. Requiem seems really cool. At some point, I want to do a Requiem mod list as well because it seems to really enforce class gameplay. And that's cool because, you know, I love creating my builds and most of what I do with my buildcraft is just reinforcing class gameplay that BGS has slowly and steadily gotten rid of over the course of their Elder Scrolls entries, right? So yeah, the Requiem stuff has been cool. I also want to check out the All Thing Futhark stuff as well that Anirim did because that also enforces class gameplay as well. But yeah, let's see. Anybody else here who... yeah, Mr. B, I think Haster sent out a link to him as well. He streams on Twitch. A little less on the Skyrim side of things and doing... I think last time he streamed Cyberpunk. He's been doing some Diablo stuff. But then also the Panic Monk has a really cool roleplay series. A Dunmer battle mage of sorts, but he goes really in-depth into the roleplay aspect of things. Which is really cool if you're looking to level up your own RP skills. I would highly recommend checking out his channel and seeing how he does things because he's been doing this for a long time. He's really good at it. Telling a story and getting into the headspace of a character and really exploring the ins and outs of what makes a character tick is kind of what he's all about over there. So check that out. And I think that's it. Oh man, Fenrir Blackwolf, we are just wrapping up here. Sorry about that, buddy. The VOD is still available for you, but you know, we'll see you next week if not. Yeah, I stream every weekend, every Saturday at 6 p.m. UTC, which is 11 a.m. my time, which is Arizona time, which does not observe daylight saving time So the rest of the country is either, depending on, they're either like 2-3 hours or 1 hour behind, or the same time slot, depending on what time of year it is. Yeah, I think that's it for me, guys. Yep. You guys, take care. I'll see you around next time, okay?